Hello there, welcome once again. In the previous tutorial, we discussed the basics of shading for beginners. And in this tutorial, we will be applying all that we learned to shade a realistic nose. So let's get right into the video. The first thing I'm doing is to use grid lines to draw an accurate outline and proportion of the nose. As you know that getting your outlines and proportions right is the first step to achieving realism. I have a detailed tutorial on how you can use grid lines to get the perfect sketch of anything as a beginner, and I will link it in the description box. The next step is to start blocking in the shadows, which are the dark areas of the photo. One thing that has worked for me and helps me get on the right track is to start the shading from the shadow, which means working from dark to light. While doing this, make sure to control the pressure you are applying on the paper and be as light as you can because mistakes can happen, and doing that makes it easy to fix them. Your ability to identify your shadows in a reference photo will help you get a rough and basic sculpture of your sketch. If you have watched the previous tutorial, you would be able to, without doubt, know where your shadows are and how you can shade them. If you have not watched that video, I will advise you do that before watching this. Always, I repeat, always remember to hold your pencil at the far end and shade with the side of the lead. This will help you with your pressure control. The shading technique I'm using in this tutorial is the circulism method, and I've explained that at length in the previous tutorial, so make sure to check it out. The next step is to blend the first layer of the shading with a soft tissue. While there are many tools you can use to blend, I prefer to blend with a tissue because blending with tissue gives the smoothest and skin-like result. The next step is to build the second layer of the shading using the same pencil but with more pressure. And then I blend with the tissue again. I repeat this process until I'm satisfied with the tones I have, and I make sure to preserve the white of the paper for the highlight. The whole process of shading and blending in multiple times is called layering. The importance of layering is such that it helps you to create solid values and depth. Layering is the difference between a flat drawing and a three-dimensional drawing. At this point, I'm going to introduce the charcoal dust. All I do to get the charcoal dust is to rub the charcoal pencil against the paper, then I dip my brush into it and shade. You should always remember to tap off the excess dust from the brush before shading with it. I am first using the charcoal dust to shade the areas of shadow, just like I did with the graphite. To shade the midtones, I'm going to switch to a fluffy brush. I prefer to use the fluffy brush to shade the midtones as I discovered that it gives me a softer blend than when I use the straight dense brush. So I just use the straight brush for the areas of the shadow alone while I use the fluffy brush to shade the midtones. Always remember to soften your ash lines, as ash lines can be distracting and unpleasant to the eyes. It's even better not to create any ash lines at all, but if you do, it's not the end of the drawing. You can still soften it and create a beautiful piece of art. Two important skills to possess as an artist are patience and the zeal to keep going, especially at the ugly face of the art when it doesn't look like what you want it to be. You cannot rush through those moments. Every stroke, every shade, and every moment of blending is very important to the end result that you want to achieve. The next step is to start shading the areas of the core shadow, which are the two nostrils. I'm doing that with a sharpened charcoal pencil, and I will also shade the surrounding areas with the charcoal dust. The next step is to brighten the areas of the highlight by using a kneaded eraser to lift off the excess shading on it. Then I proceed to create some textures and freckles on the nose by using a blending stump dipped into charcoal dust. I'm also going to use the fluffy brush to blend the textures into the drawing to create a natural and soft finish. Kindly subscribe to my channel if you have learned anything so far, and let me know in the comment section if there is any drawing tutorial you'd like me to make for you. You can also check out my other videos. I'm sure you will learn a lot from them. I'm just going to add some final touches to this drawing. A few blending, few texture, few cleaning up, etc. You know, these little touches really make a difference at the end, and they help produce an overall beautiful result. If you stayed till this very end, I want to say a big thank you for watching, and I hope you have learned one or two things. You are the best, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.